Good afternoon. Coach Tyson here to help you with some tips if you're wanting to get into strongman. I've had a lot of people reach out recently and say, "Hey, I'd like to get into strongman. I don't have access to a strongman gym, or the furthest one, or closest one, sorry, is several hours away. In the meantime, how can I train for strongman?" Now, there's a couple different ways you can deal with this, but my favorite is to say you should just train it anyway. So, back when I started strongman, it was not a popular sport and it was basically unheard of in this part of the country. So, I had to travel 3 hours for my first stone session, 6 hours for my second stone session, and on average, I traveled 3 to 5 hours to train on any piece of kit, and most of it was very old and not really well set up for people my size. So, that being said, I found out quickly that if I wanted to prep for competitions intelligently and do a good job of prepping, I had to do a little bit more outside of just the regular barbell training. So all I had access to was a barbell because I was only training in a normal gym for the longest time. Something that I found out is that you can find a lot of interesting pieces of scrap and or garbage that can really help with your strongman journey. So not only that, but these days there is an awful lot more access to strongman equipment and people who make strongman equipment. Whereas back when I first started, there was only one guy, I think, on the island who was actually building equipment here in BC. Now there's lots of different people, and you can ship it in from all over, and it's actually fairly affordable. Back then, it was a tremendous price to get a log built, and a tremendous price to get it shipped to you. So yeah, moving forward, not family friendly, budget friendly ways to train strongman. Go find some rocks. Rocks are free. I trained on rocks for probably the first 2 to 3 years of my strongman journey. Didn't have a sandbag at all. Didn't have Atlas stones either. So all the Atlas stones and sandbag events that I did, I trained with rocks. Now we had a Husafell carry in a show that I did, and so I went and found a chunk of concrete from the dump, and I literally ran around with that. It was kind of in the shape of a Husafell, and I smashed it with a hammer to make it fit and work better. We made a log out of a beam and made some makeshift handles and stuck it in there, and it worked. So you can do that as well. We ended up also making a log later on out of a old telephone pole that we found at the dump. So a lot of work, but it's doable if you really want to train it. It's there. You can do it. Um, and when it comes to just about everything else, obviously you can train, with a normal barbell to do most things or dumbbells to do most things. You can find ways to jimmy rig stuff in the gym to make it work if you really need to. So, moral of the story is either travel to train on the equipment or find it yourself. You can go to car wreckers. I did this before. I went and found axles for axle clean and pressing at car wreckers. Wasn't as nice as a normal axle. It was rusty and garbagey, but I used it for years anyway, and it's still in my backyard even now. Tires make for great moving events if you can find some big truck tires, or even flipping tires to train tire flip. Like, there's a lot more access to similar equipment than you think. And if you're willing to train and look and actually work hard, you can train for strongman even with minimal equipment. One of the biggest shows I did in 2019, I was stuck in camp, and we had a gym with regular barbells, regular dumbbells. We only had about 440 pounds of weight, and I had to go out into the woods and find rocks after 12-hour shifts in the mine to find what I was looking for, because the closest town was 3 hours away, and there's no way I'm driving there after a 3 hour, after a 12-hour shift. So, yeah. Moral of the story, if you really want to train strongman, you can and you will. And there's ways to do it. So, that is a little bit of encouragement, and good luck to you. If you actually want to do it, you will make it, or you will find it, and you will find a way. Good luck.